Hi, this is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing writing samples with my two Faber-Castell Ambition fountain pens. I've got one in an extra fine, one in a fine, and I've got two replacement nibs, a medium and a broad. The reason I'm doing these writing samples today is because it's getting harder to find replacement nibs for the Ambition, and the ones I have found have been quite expensive. That's why I bought a second fountain pen, was to get a fine nib. So I'm hoping that these writing samples can help you decide which nib size might be the best fit for you if you're considering buying an Ambition. The ink I'll be using for these writing samples is Waterman Mysterious Blue. I'll begin with the extra fine. These are all stainless steel nibs that have this nice pattern engraved on them, and you'll notice they don't have a breather hole. This nib has a very pleasant chalky smoothness on the paper. I'm hesitant to call it feedback, but there is just a slight amount of friction between the nib and the paper, just enough to give you some control. The reverse writing, the ink is uniform and it doesn't feel like it's drying out as you write, but it's ultra extra fine. I don't anticipate ever needing that fine of a line, but it's not unpleasant to write with, not scratchy. Next is the fine nib. Where the extra fine, I said, felt chalky smooth, I would say this feels satiny smooth. Again, you've got just enough feedback between the nib and the paper that it gives you some control, and it's not that glassy smoothness. Again, very enjoyable to write with. The reverse writing of this nib, I'm getting a little bit more ink. It's a little more legible than the one on the extra fine. This one was a little bit scratchy, but I think it's worth smoothing it out because this fine nib is broad enough that I can see myself needing the ability to write a finer line occasionally. So this would be worth, to me, to smooth out the reverse side of this nib. Next, I'll be writing with the medium nib. This medium nib felt very similar in smoothness to the fine nib, though you could feel that it was a bit wider. It looks like it's writing a little bit drier than the fine. I don't know if that is because I'm possibly running a little low on ink. This has always been a fairly wet writer for me, but I can see just a slight difference between the fine and the medium, and I can slightly feel the difference as well. Like in this downstroke, I can see a difference in line width. But the difference between the extra fine and the fine is a bit more significant. And finally, I've got the broad nib. All right, now the difference in line width between the fine to the medium to the broad, each jump is not a huge difference, but if you focus on one letter, you can see the line width increasing what seems slightly, but as you're writing with these nibs, you can feel the difference between one to the next. Visually, the biggest difference is from the extra fine to the fine. This broad, like the two before it, has that satiny smoothness. Very enjoyable to write with. I like nibs like this, especially when I'm using lower saturation inks. Those type of inks tend not to be as pleasant to write with in a glassy smooth nib, but in these wider, somewhat satiny smooth or buttery smooth nibs, those low saturation inks, for me, tend to perform at their best. The reverse writing with this broad nib is very nice. I can't remember if I did any smoothing on this, but the ink flow is very, very good, nice and uniform, and so it's nice for me, if I've got a nib this broad, to have the ability to write fine if I need to. I also did a writing sample in my Hobonichi in case you use paper with smaller ruling. The ruling on this Rhodia pad is about 6 millimeters, and I'll get my Hobonichi. It has 4 millimeter ruling, so you can see how each nib size fits in the grids, in case you don't want your writing to look cramped or to feel cramped as you're writing. The extra fine fits within the grids very nicely. A couple of things I want to mention about the Faber-Castell Ambition. Number one, this cap is kind of polarizing. It's very heavy. The pen itself is very light. Now, you may want to check different finishes and different materials. The pen will have a different weight. I know there's a stainless steel version where the pen and the cap are closer in weight, and in fact, the pen might be heavier than the cap, so you might want something like that if the balance of the pen matters to you. And posting, that heavy cap makes it very back-weighted. But a good thing about the cap is that it has a plastic liner that seals very well. I don't have any trouble with these pens drying out, and in fact, I've dipped them before, and you can leave just the dipped ink in the feed for a couple of days. When I first started testing these, that's what I did, and I could leave the pens laying for days and still come back and test write with them. Another thing you might want to consider is a lot of times these pens do not come with converters, so you're going to have to buy a converter if you want to use bottled ink. I like these Faber-Castell converters because they have the ink agitator in it, and this pen has worked really nicely with shimmer ink. But there are two kinds of Faber-Castell converters. There's the one like this one that's just plastic down here at the end, like a cartridge. But there's another one that has a metal collar. That converter will not fit. It will fit into the pen, but the backside will not fit into the pen body. This is the only converter, the one with the plastic at the end. This is the only converter that fits the Ambition. And another thing I heard when I was watching another review of the Ambition on YouTube is that you can fit 2 cartridges. You can have the one that you're using and a spare in the back. Now, this little placeholder that comes with the pen, be careful. This is not a cartridge that you can refill. It's just a placeholder. But for demonstration purposes, I'll just show. You can have your cartridge that you're using, and your spare cartridge has to go the little end toward the back so that that little part can kind of fit down in this metal piece. And there's no rattle. They fit in there just perfectly. If you put the spare cartridge in the other way, it gets hung up, the wider end gets hung up back here. And if you're using cartridges, having that spare cartridge back there adds some weight to this really fairly lightweight pen and makes it feel a little nicer. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.